Good morning, this is Pramod Jaiswal from English Chronicles. This is my second video. Thanks for clicking on my video. Angel in Disguise. Today I am going to discuss 2-3 questions which are very important for your examinations. First is the characteristic which I have already discussed in the first video of Joe Thompson and his wife Jane. Now the next important question is the transformation of Mrs. Thompson, means how she was arrogant. First you have to discuss the characters, how she was. She was arrogant, hard-hearted person, stubborn, rude, merciless. This was the reason why, because she was childless. She had no love or sympathy for anyone. That's the reason. And we have to gradually see how the changes are brought about in her. And how Joe Thompson was also aware while taking Maggie to the house that he knew very well that his wife isn't going to accept her. And it starts from the very beginning, right, when the gate was opened and she did not welcome him. Rather, she questions him why have he brought Maggie. She should be sent to poorhouse. Then Joe told him it's a matter of only 1 or 2 nights, because he has to get permission from the office, government office, and she has to see the guardian. So somehow he manages to postpone this matter of sending her. But at first we see that his wife was she did not care about her. But gradually there is softening of her heart. You see, first she was uncaring about Maggie, but and she firstly insisted Joe to send her back to who will take care. She is a burden. There is one line, precious burden. He was carrying a precious burden. So precious was for Joe, but not for. But gradually, as we see, when the first instance which we see there is a change in her nature was when Joe Thompson was returning in the evening and a gleam of light was coming from his room. He saw that his wife's back was towards her, and he could see the face of Maggie, soft face, and her eyes were concentrated on his wife. That shows that both of them were conversing, and unless his wife was showering love or softened words, Maggie would not have been in this position responding. That shows that a gleam of softness had appeared on the face of Andy as well as in the heart of Mrs. Joe Thompson. This was a start, and as Joe entered, he didn't want to interfere in their conversation, and rather he wanted his love, his affection to be continued. So he went inside without interrupting her. Then the next stage is how we see the gradual change in her, is that then she gave her bread, butter, milk, tea, and she herself provided her Maggie, and this shows that kindness was sprouting, sympathy was sprouting, emanating from her, within her, and that showed kindness, and there was softness in her voice, in her attitude. By unspoken words, message of sympathy and love was conveyed to Maggie. That is quite vivid, that is quite clear. And the matter of sending Maggie to poorhouse was not discussed, but Joe wanted to ironically he says, what about sending Maggie? No, he see by the response Mrs. Joe gave that no, it's no hurry, let her stay for 1 hour day, because she must be taken care of, because she couldn't see Maggie's unbearable pain and suffering. She couldn't be left alone. That is the realization which takes place in Mrs. Joe Thompson, as we see, and gradually, and then never it was again discussed about sending Maggie to the poorhouse, not a day after, not 2 days after, never. And we see that she started because she had no child, she had no love and sympathy, and gradually pity took place of anger. So this is the way you have to deal with the different characteristics, and gradually there is transformation. So this is very important. Now next question is, who was the angel in disguise? Give reasons. It can be also in the form of justify the title angel in disguise. Now as we see that this house was without love, devoid of love, because Joe Thompson, Mrs. Joe was childless, and Joe was also working class. Outwardly he looked stubborn and very rude, but inwardly he has a very soft heart. And that is why when everyone left Maggie at in her hut, and he was the last one, when Maggie told her, please don't leave me alone, his heart melted, and he couldn't abandon her, leave her behind, knowing very well that his wife isn't going to accept it. Still, he, with a womanly nature, he wrapped her in a white bedsheet, took her in his arms, and carried her to his home. He was carrying a precious burden. Why it was precious? Because she was lovely, she was helpless, she was diseased, she was bedridden, broken her spine, and the most important thing, she was a little child. And as we see that he has welcomed her with his open heart, gradually we see that her wife, there is also a change in her heart. Though this was a blessing in disguise, means when it is because of Maggie, when advent of Maggie brought love, sympathy and mercy in this house. Both of them started showering mercy. Before her arrival, there was no dint of any love or sympathy or care, but after her arrival, Mrs. Joe has become very kind-hearted, caring, sympathetic, loving, and she has believed in kindness of mankind. That's why she also says that she must not be sent to poor house, she can stay here, cannot be left abandoned. And we see that it was Joe Thompson who drank the nectar every day, and no one in the village drank this nectar of mercy, the blessing of God in the form of an angel, who was no one but Maggie, that because of her true love, true happiness, showered as a confetti, as a blessing on his house. It was blessing from God. Thus it is justified that she was the angel in disguise. Thank you. Have a nice time. Please, if you like my explanations, share among your friends, and please subscribe to my channel. I'll be giving you further notes. Thank you. Have a nice time.